I'm Lee Spencer with the Racing Boys, and I caught up with Daniel Suarez. And 2 races into the season, and you have a new team, new crew chief, new car. Everything's new for Daniel Suarez in 2019.
Yeah, everything is a lot of new things, and honestly, I'm just very happy the way that everything has been working out lately with Billy Scott and the rest of the Stewart-Haas racing family and for performance. Everyone has been nothing but great to me. Obviously, we have fast race cars, and we're getting used to everything. Obviously, right now with all the rules changes, we are not exactly where they were last year, but everyone is learning from this. So I feel like actually last week in Atlanta it was a pretty good start. We fired up the what we call the regular season with good speed, and now in Las Vegas is a totally different game set. So we're trying to just to get used to everything, trying to make our 41 Ford Mustang go fast, and hopefully we can do that in last practice.
You're good friends with Eric Almirola, so with him paving the way at SHR, has he kind of told you about what maybe the best way to approach it was? What might some of the downfalls be? How to avoid those pitfalls, perhaps, and just go in there kind of with both guns blazing.
Yeah, I feel like it's been extremely good, the conversations and the just the communication that I've been able to have with Eric. Obviously, with Eric, I've been friends with him for years now. But now with Clint and Kevin, obviously, they were friends, but I didn't have a lot of contact with them other than Sunday. And now to have more conversations with them and to become friends is something very good, because these guys, they just have a lot of experience. They've been racing for a long time, and I feel like actually it's kind of funny to think that all four of us, we have arrived to Stewart-Haas Racing looking for exactly the same thing in different years, but looking for the same for the same goal, a change and results and winning races and being successful, and all of them. They've been able to accomplish that, so I'm extremely excited to my future with Stewart-Haas Racing, with Ford Performance, and everyone in the 41 group, because it's a lot of fun to be part of this group. I never had a group that it was so tight together before. Everyone has fun, and everyone is laughing, and everyone is making fun of each other, and I like that. I'm that kind of guy. I'm not too serious when it comes to that kind of stuff. So I feel pretty good with the chemistry that we're building.
Billy Scott is a really laid-back kind of guy. Does that suit your style as far as coming to the racetrack and having all your ducks in a row and just really having a good plan and strategy together for when you unload and when you hit the racetrack and getting into qualifying, your practice, and leading up to race day?
Yeah, I will say something. Billy may be a laid-back guy with many people, but I'm telling you, he's a racer. He wants to win, and he's aggressive, and when he knows that I'm not doing everything I can to get the speed out of the race car, he's gonna tell me. We have been very close for a few months only, and we are already that open. That when I feel like the car is lacking something, I just tell him very straightforward, and the same with me. I'm not. He is the kind of guy that he wants to win, and he wants to be successful in the sport. So we have a lot of things in similar, a lot of similar things. So I'm really looking forward to make a good, strong duo with Billy, because he's definitely very, very smart, very aggressive, and he has a great personality.
Do you feel perhaps you were thrown into the deep end a little too quick, going to Joe Gibbs right after that year in Xfinity, even though you ran the championship? Do you think you were well-rounded and prepared enough to make that jump at that time?
I feel like I was prepared, and I was ready to make that jump. But I was not ready to jump into the Cup Series with so many different changes. In my first year in Cup, my whole team changed. My crew chief left 6 weeks into the season. My car chief left with him. And then we changed one engineer, and then we changed the other one, and then we changed the car chief almost every month. It's never a good thing to have so many changes. And as a rookie, you're learning from everything. And when all these changes are happening, it's not good for you. So I feel like I was ready to make that jump. I'm the kind of person, driver, that I don't let anyone outwork me. I like to work extremely hard, and that's just the way I am. But when you have difficult circumstances that you can control, sometimes it's just a little bit difficult. But that's the way that it just happened to be. It just happened to be myself, and obviously they didn't want it to be my first year that way. But ended up being that way, and at the end of the day, they wanted this, putting the face out and getting the good and bad things is the driver. So, but that's in the past now. There's nothing we can do about it. I learned a lot from that, and I feel like I'm way more prepared because of that.
You relied on Kyle Busch a lot when you drove for KBM. Was he still an open book once you guys got to Cup?
He was always very, very open with me. I will say that the most. He's a good friend, and I know that back when I was in Gibbs, he was one of the most straightforward and honest guys that I was able to talk to. But at the same time, like I said, we're just struggling in many other many other areas that I just couldn't get used to the system and changing a lot of different things, but that's part of racing. I feel like with Jogger Racing, I was able to accomplish a lot of good things in the Xfinity Series and some good things as well in the Cup Series. Unfortunately, those things were not enough for me personally. I thought I had higher expectations, and fortunately for myself, Stewart-Haas Racing was there to do something together, and right now I feel like Stewart-Haas Racing is a team that I feel like I can be successful in the Cup Series.
Are you a guy that craves stability?
What is that again?
Are you a guy that craves stability? Do you like to have? Because when I hear you talk about change, I'm thinking you're probably a guy that wants to work with the same group of people, and have that consistency to make it so there really aren't any surprises going forward, and it sounds like that's something that they've given you over at Stewart-Haas.
It is, and I feel like racing is extremely important to have a good relationship and good chemistry with your team. And when the team is moving or is changing too often, it's difficult. As a driver, it's difficult, and as a rookie, it's extremely difficult. So that's not what you want. In your first year, you want everything to be consistent, and you as a driver learn. But when a lot of things are changing and moving, it's just not the best scenario. But I do like consistency to build my team and to have, to know how we have to work together, the system. Every single engineer out there, we have a lot of good engineers in NASCAR, and every single one of them work different. So you have to get used to the system. And I feel like now with my engineers here in Stewart-Haas Racing and Billy, I feel like we are getting along very well, and we're understanding each other, and we're moving in the right direction.
Now, there is a new car, though, the new Mustang, the new Aero package. I mean, this package seems dramatically different this week with the drag ducts, even compared to Atlanta. Atlanta was a crazy abrasive track. What are your first, review of this car and basically how it handles and what we might expect on Sunday?
Honestly, I wish I can answer that question, but I don't really know. Yesterday, for whatever reason, we just missed it a little bit the whole day. We're hitting the racetrack too hard, and already most of us, we were on Q runs only, on qualifying, and the focus was qualifying, and unfortunately, we just missed it a little bit. We didn't have the speed that we wanted through the corners. We're just dragging too much speed with the front tires, and then hitting the racetrack. And we just went back to work last night to try to make the car fast today. Hopefully the weather cooperates cooperate a little bit better so we can have some practice and tune up the 41 Ford Mustang for tomorrow's race. But right now, I just don't really know. Hopefully, I can have a better idea after happy hour.
What does Daniel Suarez do for fun? I know you like to work on your VWs, but with this, with the kind of lifestyle you have, and being a racer, and what you've been able to accomplish in a very short period of time, what do you do to kind of take yourself away from the track? Is it still working on cars, or are there other hobbies maybe that you've picked up along the way since coming to the U.S.?
Yeah, well, already cars, that's in my blood, right? And that's what I've been doing since I was a couple of years old, building cars and working on them. Really, just to prepare myself physically to be strong in the weekends, to drive the race car and to be 100% for these guys, to be successful and to win races and hopefully championships one day. But something that for me is extremely important, and I really try to enjoy this as much as I can, is family. Really, I'm very fortunate that I have my family very, very tight, and we talk a lot and we get along extremely well. Unfortunately, we're not in the same country, so every time that I get the opportunity to have time with them and with friends, with my close friends, I feel like it's time very well spent.
When you go home to Monterey, do people recognize you? Are you getting, kind of that recognition of being a NASCAR driver? Or, when you go home, do they know much about NASCAR? I mean, you were a champion down there. Has that kind of followed you around?
It does a little bit. All depends in the environment, right? It happens often that if I go to a place where it's related with cars, they do know who I am. If I go to the grocery store, they probably don't. But it just depends. Where you go, what are you doing. Or if I go to a racetrack to test a go-kart, everyone knows who I am. So it all depends. But like I said, for me, just a lot of fun, just to have a good time with family, to enjoy my friends. I've been out of my country for almost 8 years now, so all the close friends and all the people that I've been very, very, very close for many years, now I'm not as close. So every time that we get together, it's always a fun time.
Will they come and visit you, since we're on the West Coast swing now and we're closer to your home than being on the East Coast?
Actually, for me, home is closer in the East Coast. The Texas race is the closest for me, for my hometown, and I have a bunch of friends going to that race. Right now, here in Las Vegas, I have my mom and my sisters, and I have a couple of friends coming as well today. And it's always a lot of fun. Everyone loves coming to Vegas, so I guess that's a perfect excuse to come to the race and come play a little bit.
Okay, so what is play for Daniel Suarez?
For me, to drive a race car, that's what I love to do. Sometimes I think on myself is what I would do if I was not driving a race car, and I don't know. I just can't see myself doing something else. I love the adrenaline, and I know the competition, and I know that I'm good driving, and I'm good pushing myself and driving into the limits, and I feel like NASCAR is the perfect fit for me.
Final question, what are your goals for this season? You'll be happy if?
I think I will be happy if we just can continue to grow and continue to improve. And I'm sure that we're going to have a lot of success together with this team. I'm not a very patient guy, but in this case, I have to be a little patient.
Doesn't it help, though, you've been with two powerhouses in NASCAR. Can you imagine if you were riding somewhere in the back 40? I mean, if you didn't have those resources, how difficult it might be for a guy trying to get up to speed? Yeah,
for sure. I just feel very fortunate to have great support from many sponsors, and Stewart-Haas Racing and Ford Performance, and they came from a very good team as well. But landing into another great team, if not the best from last year. I couldn't ask for anything better.
Appreciate your time today.
Thank you.